So if you used an LG phone before, you probably know that that company likes to stuff in as many features as possible into these things. Well, they've done the same thing with the LG G7, and there are so many to list that we're really just gonna give you our top 7 features of their new phone. So here's the top 7 features of the LG G7. First off, we've got what LG is calling the boombox speaker. Now, what they're doing with this is they're basically using the phone as a resonance chamber to really help push sound out of the device. There's only one set of bottom firing speakers in this phone, but it gets really loud. You could really place this at any point in your house and you're gonna be able to hear it from across the room. It's a lot louder than most phones get, and we really didn't have a problem with it even at super high volumes. So next up, we've got the super bright display. So yeah, LG isn't using an OLED panel on this thing, they're actually using an LCD, but it gets really bright, up to 1000 nits. That's a lot brighter than most phones, and you're gonna be able to go outside no problem and see this phone even in direct sunlight. Next up, we've got portrait mode, and yeah, most phones have portrait mode nowadays, but this phone does something extra. It actually produces a depth map that goes along with the image, so you're able to move that bokeh slider even after you take the picture. The front-facing camera is actually pretty good too at 8 megapixels, and it also has a portrait mode. Now, this is a pretty big deal because the Pixel 2 was really one of the only phones that could do a good front-facing portrait mode, and you're gonna be able to get this on this LG phone too. LG even brought back that super wide 107-degree camera, so you're gonna be able to get a huge field of view, and this is really useful if you're out with friends and wanna get everyone in the frame. Now, speaking of the camera, LG has added some AI that it thinks is gonna help you get that shot. It can recognize up to 18 different scenes to help perfect the color of what you're shooting a picture of, and it'll give you 4 different options after you take the photo to kind of add a layer of color on top. Now, while we were testing this feature, the camera recognized random objects as ham and sandals, which is kind of weird, and I'm not really sure why LG would want to recognize these things, but it's in there, so maybe this will be tweaked and perfected in the future. Now, the Pixel's got the squeeze feature and Samsung's got the Bixby button, but LG decided to go with a Google Assistant button instead of either of these. I personally really like this because I use that squeeze feature all the time, and it's really nice to just be able to walk down the street, hit a button, and automatically activate Google Assistant. So unfortunately, you can't currently remap this button, but LG said it wasn't completely out of the picture. They told me it might come in a later software update if they get enough people that want it, so if you really want that, make sure you're vocal about it in the comment section below. The LG G7 is completely waterproof with an IP68 rating. Now, this is really nice because you're able to just walk outside in the rain, or you can even take a shower with this thing. And with that super loud boombox speaker, you don't even have to have a Bluetooth speaker in your shower. You can just kind of jam to your phone. Honestly, most phones should be water resistant at this point, but they're not, so I'm really glad that LG added this feature in, and I really hope that other people start to adopt this in the future. So yeah, this phone has a notch, but LG knows that some people really don't like that notch, so they added an additional secondary display feature which lets you cover it up if you don't want to use it. You can color this in with black, gray, or even gradients of color. So while you should probably just use that extra space to see the time and notifications, you can really just cover it up with black if you don't want to see that at all. I personally liked filling it in with black because it made it seem like there wasn't a notch at all, but if you want to use it, go for it. So those were our top 7 features of the LG G7. Now, there's a lot more features in this phone, so if you want to see those, make sure you check out the hands-on, and we'll cover all of them in the full review later on. So what are the features of the LG G7 that you want to see us cover in the full review? Let us know in the comment section below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from us. Because of course, we are your source for all things Android.